Good evening. I'm your host, Jacob Hayworth, and this is Movie Madness. Welcome to a very special episode of Movie Madness. This week we're going to talk all about the Oscars. Please welcome my special guest for the week, Jacob Hubert.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now let's get started off with talking about the big winners of the night. First would have to be Birdman, which won 4 out of the 9 Oscars it was nominated for, one being Best Picture, one being Best Directing. What was your take on the film?
Thought it was a great idea, kind of taking Michael Keaton, used to be Batman, as this like washed up former superhero, and kind of just he's trying to make a life for himself now. Between that and then the cinematography for it, just showing it off as just being one continuous take. The amount of planning that goes into that alone is just astonishing.
I mean, that was the thing that was just so amazing. That's why it had to win Best Cinematography. It was because of this film looked like it was all from start to finish, just one camera shot, which was amazing. But let's move on to the Grand Budapest Hotel. It didn't win some big Oscars, but it won Best Production Design, which from Wes Anderson. And it also won the Best Music, Original Score. Alexandre Desplat beat out Hans Zimmer. But overall, what was your take on the Grand Budapest Hotel?
No, I'm kind of, I've got my own views because I'm a big fan of Wes Anderson. I thought it was a great movie. It was another just one of his, I mean, you could tell it was his. It was just one of his like standard formats for what he does. Kind of an interesting story and how it's presented, and then the way he shot it, using all of his famous techniques and with like his anamorphic lenses, his set design, even the color palette, showing off a lot of symmetry in the shots. It's what you expect.
Yes, Wes Anderson is a genius, and I think that was one of the best competing ones for the best cinematography because of they used the different aspect ratios from each timepiece. So I mean, overall, it was a good film. But let's move on to Whiplash, which won Best Supporting Actor for J.K. Simmons. No one really knew of the movie until the Oscars, really, and you know maybe that was what's so fantastic about it, was that just no one knew too much about it. But you know, those were some good-looking films. But speaking of good-looking, the red carpet had some dashing-looking celebrities. Let's get Simone Page's opinion of the best and worst dressed of the Oscars. Take it away, Simone.
Hey everyone, I'm Simone Page for Movie Madness. The Oscars honored the best films of 2014 and took place on February 22nd, 2015. But when it comes to the Oscars, we can't just focus on best films. A major part of the award ceremony includes best and worst dressed. I love watching the stars come down the red carpet, donned in different designers' best work. But we can't forget the times when we're all thinking, what in the world are they wearing? Blanca Blanco wore a red and black gown that has been called the most disastrous dress of the evening. Boyhood star Lorelai Linklater wore a Gabriella Cadena gown for her first appearance at the Oscars. This dress did absolutely nothing for the star. In my opinion, Lady Gaga, who couldn't be outdone, was the worst dressed. Known for her outrageous costumes, once again had one of the worst attires of the night, wearing what seemed like red rubber gloves with her sequin gown. Now that we've gotten the worst dressed out of the way, let's get to my opinion of this year's best dress. Emma Stone wore a chartreuse custom Elie Saab gown. This redhead wears green well. Chrissy Teigen, whose husband John Legend, along with Common, won Best Original Song, donned an embellished light blue, low-cut Zaher Murad gown. 50 Shades of Grey star Dakota Johnson brought the one-sleeve style back in Saint Laurent. Jennifer Lopez continues to show us all that she is absolutely timeless. She also wore an Elie Saab gown in nude, detailed with gorgeous embellishments. In my opinion, she was the best dress of the evening. So many beautiful and not so beautiful gowns. I'm Simone Page for Movie Madness, and those were my best and worst dressed picks for the Oscars.
Thanks, Simone. Now it's time for a little break. We'll be back in a bit. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to this week's special of the Oscars. We're going to talk about the movies that weren't so lucky and didn't win. First up would have to be Boyhood. It got nominated for 6 Oscars and only won 1, which was Best Actress in a Supporting Role. What was your take on the film of why it didn't win so many?
I have no idea. The first time I saw the trailer, I was blown away because it's something you can't fake. You can't fake. I mean, you can try. Like you've got cases like Benjamin Button, and there's another ones that really do a pretty good job of showing people characters' age in a film. But this is real. It's you can't fake what they did. It's incredible.
Yeah, they took a film and said, hey, let's film this for over 12 years. Let's get each actor and actress together each year and film just a little bit. So overall, it was pretty impressive. So, but let's move on to Foxcatcher. I don't really think many people knew about this one as much either. It wasn't like a big known movie. I mean, however, I was surprised it didn't win Best Makeup with Steve Carell.
Yeah.
They just transformed him. It had Channing Tatum, and it looked like a pretty interesting story, which was based on a true story.
Was it? Did it have like a wide release in theaters? Or was it? Because it seemed like it was pretty limited. I didn't hear about it.
It might have been because I didn't see. It didn't come to my theater.
Yeah.
And then American Sniper. It only won 1 Oscar for sound editing. It was nominated for 6. I was kind of surprised. I thought, it might win a little bit more. I thought it was a good American movie. What was your take on it?
I think it was a great kind of interpretation of his life. And of course, you hear all the stories of the people in the theater and just the silence that happens.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. It was a good directing by him, and like in the credits, they just didn't play any music, and so it was just you got out of the theater and it was just pure silence. And there were some comments I think I saw that were saying about how the ending was horrible, but some people didn't really understand that this is a movie about a real person. Now we're going to take it to Naomi Romo for a movie review of American Sniper, see what she thinks, and then a rant about the Oscars by Aaron Wilkins. We'll be right back.
Hey movie watchers, this is Naomi from Movie Madness, and this week on our Oscars special, we have a movie review of American Sniper.
Chris.
American Sniper tells the story of Chris Kyle, the most lethal U.S. sniper in military history. His accuracy to save countless lives on the battlefield and his stories of courageous exploits spread through the military, and he earns the name The Legend. Behind enemy lines, he is a prime target for those against the U.S. military.
The thing that haunts me are all the guys that I couldn't save.
As the story unfolds, we learn just how much he is torn between 2 big responsibilities, the responsibility to his family and to his country. During the movie, we see just how much war takes a toll on military members' lives, not only during war, but after war.
You're such a great father.
So you're not worried about what might happen?
What are you in Germany or where?
Well, I'm stateside.
You're home? What are you doing?
I guess I just needed a minute.
Another reason why this is one of my favorite movies is because you honestly get a feel for not only what Chris is feeling, but you see the struggles of what his wife is going through back home, who went through 2 pregnancies. Meanwhile, Chris is 4 tours in Iraq.
Even when you're here, you're not here. I see you. I feel you. But you're not here.
Bradley Cooper, who plays Chris Kyle's transformation into Chris Kyle, was another reason why people were shocked by this movie. Bradley Cooper stated that the only way we were going to see how much Chris was hurting was to see how big he truly was.
I'm ready to come home.
I definitely recommend you all go and watch this movie just to see a true glimpse of what military families actually go through.
Your dad, he's a hero. That's right. He saved my life, and he helped me get back to my little girl.
Hello everyone, this is Aaron Wilkins with Movie Madness. This week we'll be talking about the Oscars. It's something that every director, actor, actress, costume designer, and proud mom and dad look forward to. Where hearts are broken, lives are made, and the best or worst night of a lifetime. The Oscars is full of fantastic performances and memorable speeches. Let's go ahead and take a look at a speech from the Oscars that shocked many from Patricia Arquette.
We have fought for everybody else's equal rights. It's our time to have wage equality once and for all, and equal rights for women in the United States of America.
I actually think it has more of an impact due to the fact that she is extremely rich. I feel it's not as if she is just talking on behalf of herself. She doesn't sound selfish and wants equality for all women. Now on to bigger and better things. The movie Whiplash, nominated and won for Best Supporting Actor by J.K. Simmons. The movie is about a young jazz drummer by the name of Andrew, played by Miles Teller, who yearns for perfection and success in his elite East Coast Music Conservatory. Constantly haunted by the failures of his writer father, Andrew aims to become the best of the best. At school, he is discovered by the great Terrence Fletcher, played by J.K. Simmons, the leader of the top jazz ensemble. He welcomes Andrew into his band, but pushes him with fierce instruction and insane practice. Will Andrew be able to function, or will he collapse under the pressure? Here's a clip from the film.
Little trouble there. You're rushing. Ready? Okay. 5, 6, and... Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference!
Wow, that was crazy, but little do you realize that actually J.K. Simmons has a heart.
Call your mom. Everybody. I'm told it's like 1 billion people or so. Call your mom, call your dad. If you're lucky enough to have a parent or two alive on this planet, call them. Don't text, don't email. Call them on the phone. Tell them you love them and thank them and listen to them for as long as they want to talk to you.
Now that was beautiful. It also means a lot considering the parts he plays in movies. You guys have seen Spider-Man, right? This man is insanely awesome, and this speech just put the icing on the cake. If I were you, I would take his advice. Those were my highlights for the Oscars. This is Aaron Wilkins with Movie Madness.
Welcome back to Movie Madness. I'm Jacob Hayworth here with my special guest of the week, Jacob Hubert. Now let's talk about some of the awesome speeches of the night. First up for me would be Big Hero 6. The animator went up onto the stage and said, big thank you to my mom because whenever I was a kid, I told her I wanted to be an animator for Disney. And that's what he did. Maybe I thought it was really touching because I hope to say the same thing one day. But was there any other speech that you thought was mentionable?
J.K. Simmons, his speech for Best Supporting Actor, I thought that was really cool. He mentioned for people to call their parents and just talk to them, or have them talk to you until they just are done, until you're done wanting to listen yet. Because people don't talk enough to their parents, and I think that was a great message, and it definitely hit home for me.
Another speech with a message was Patricia Arquette of Equal Wage. She was saying that it is an issue, which it is, but coming from a millionaire, it didn't seem like it had a big impact for me. Maybe if it was a new, fresh actor or actress, that maybe it would have had a bigger impact. And Meryl Streep was all, she was all for it.
Yeah.
And then Neil Patrick Harris was the host. Any take on how he did?
I loved him. I love Neil Patrick Harris. He's a great guy. He really brings all of his personality into the roles that he plays. It's been one especially that I think a lot of people that didn't really understand it was his magic and stuff. Because I know he had his predictions throughout the entire show, and looking online, there were a lot of people just complaining, saying it was boring, he kept taking away from the show and dragged it on for too long. But that's him bringing that little piece of his personality and what he can offer into that. Because for people who don't know, he's actually part of the Magicians Guild. And he's actually a really, really good magician if you've ever seen him. Yeah, and he threw in some jokes, and I thought they were pretty good, and went on stage in just his underwear at one point. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you, Jacob, for joining us. Thank you for having me.
Hopefully, have you again soon. Now, please go to Facebook and press the like button for me. Can you do that? I hope so. I'll see you next week.